Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Metroid Prime. This is Mega Celestial, and in the last episode I just recorded it, how can I not remember? In the last episode, we were in the Fendrona Drifts. I failed a little bit, we got the wave beam, now we're here. Inside the Space Pirate facility, right here. Anyways, in this episode, we're gonna go ahead and explore it. Because there is going to be something important here, I reckon. I've just been the master at falling lately. That's all I can manage to do in this game is fall. That's okay. That's okay. The more times I fall, the more I get to play this game, and the longer this Let's Play goes on. I don't want it to last that long, though. I don't want this to be an excessively long Let's Play. I'd like to get to new ones after this. So, let's just keep on moving. So the Space Pirates have set up some sort of weird research facility here. And for those of you who don't know a lot about Metroid, the Space Pirates are basically some of the main enemies. The main bad guys. Which is ironic because these guys weren't even in the first game. Save for Ridley, that is. There's some more of them, but I can't see them. This music is not calming. I need to look around, there's like a bunch of stuff around here. One of these tanks is not like the other. Okay, all this red stuff is pirate data. There's gonna be a lot of pirate data here. Similar to the Chozo lore, I'm not gonna bother reading it. I'm just gonna go through it, just so that you guys can pause the video and then read it if you want to. I believe it's only the red ones that are pirate data. None of them disappear, so don't worry too much about scanning all of them. I believe we're gonna have to come back here at some point anyways. If you're going for 100%, that is. Actually, yeah, you will have to come back here even if you aren't going for 100%. So you can always scan it then. So it's just gonna be a lot of scanning. And me hitting the A button obnoxiously, as I do. As I try to get through this, so I can actually go back to playing the game. I love stories in video games, but I've read this stuff plenty of times. 50% of the logbook, holy crap. I honestly find that very hard to believe, but whatever. What do I know? I'm not a video game. Yeah, I believe there's something around here that has like a missile expansion. However, even if I could find it, I wouldn't be able to get it, so it doesn't matter. Okay, where's those other space pirates? Come on. These guys aren't even a threat because you can just use charged wave beam shots. Whoa, that was extreme. Wave beam is also very effective on any like electrical enemies, any robots and whatnot. Because electricity beats metal, I guess. I guess that makes sense, yeah. I'm colorblind, I couldn't tell what that was. I'm not actually colorblind, just it was a bit tricky to tell. Yeah, you want to look at all these screens, you never know. But if you see something red, it's probably important. All the orange stuff is just like, if you really want to. I'm not going to scan all that because that would get obnoxious. Recording to logbook. Yada yada yada. If you don't really care about reading this, that's fine. It's not really too important to the game's story. Really, this game's story isn't really that prominent. The story definitely gets more in-depth than Metroid Prime 2 and 3. And in those games, you don't even need to worry about the logbooks as much, like reading them to understand the story. Because those games actually have cutscenes. Although Metroid Prime 2 is pretty limited on those. Prime 3 has cutscenes and voice acting. How fancy. We've come so far. And it's not like Other M's voice acting. Other M. That was my first Metroid game. I actually don't hate it that much, but after playing the other Metroid games, I definitely see why others do. They kind of destroyed Samus's character in that game. Hello. Goodbye. This is Sparta. Do people still make that joke? Is this a Sparta joke? Do people still make that? Shoot the crap out of this guy. Shoot that guy as well. And we are good to go. For frick's sake. You can't just drop out of the ceiling like that, that's not allowed. It's unfair, guys, I can't do that. Just saying, if I were a space pirate, I would just take my chances and just say, you know what, I'm gonna not try to attack Samus Aran. Because it seems like she destroys every single person she meets. Did you want to be in the video too? My dog is here now. Well, I'm going through kind of quickly, my bad. My bad. No, don't go near that. Don't go. Okay. I'll play with you later. More randomness. Where was I? Oh yeah, if I were a space pirate, I would not even try to attack Samus. I'd just be like, you know what? I don't care what they do to me. I don't want to go anywhere near her. Holographic sequence initialized. I don't really know the... Okay, this has some slight importance. Just destroy this stuff, just get some more health and whatnot. Seeing as I'm getting a tad bit lower than I'd like to on energy. But I don't worry about health too much in this game. I don't think I've died yet, have I? I hope not. Ooh, the puzzles. Music is playing. This game has an amazing soundtrack, by the way. I never really appreciated video game soundtracks for a while, until just one time I did. I think the first video game soundtrack I ever really came to appreciate was Hyrule Warriors. I haven't played Hyrule Warriors in forever, but when I did, I absolutely loved that game's soundtrack, especially Eclipse of the Sun, I believe it was called. I absolutely loved that song. That game had really good themes. Absolutely loved it. And then I really liked this game's soundtrack. I really liked Undertale's soundtrack. I really liked Chrono Trigger's soundtrack. Chrono Trigger's soundtrack, oh my gosh. I could listen to the Undersea Palace theme like for 1 hour and not get sick of it. But man, that one, the Super Mario Odyssey song, Jump Up Superstar, I love that song so much. Like, that song is just like so happy and just invigorating, and I love it. That's gonna date this video. If someone watches this in 20 years, like, oh yes, I remember Super Mario Odyssey, that game's a classic. Anyways, here's a little hologram of, well, a big hologram actually, of a bunch of planets. This one is Talon 4. Make sure you scan it. It is actually recorded to the logbook, believe it or not. And okay, there's a bunch of randomly named planets here that aren't really important. You never even visit half of them, or any of them for that matter. This one's Zeb is, which, yeah, Zeb is still a thing. was about to say Zebes doesn't exist, but then I'm like, wait, yes it does. I think if you just get Zebes and Talon 4, you're good. The rest aren't really important. But now there's more platforms going up. And as you saw in that cutscene, there seems to be a certain thing up at the top. A certain item of significant importance. And the item is right here. Super missiles. Alright. So this item is what is known as a... What's it called? Crap, what's it called? I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use a lifeline. Beam combo, that's what they're called. Okay. Super missile is what's known as a beam combo. Basically, beam combos are combinations of your beam weapons along with missiles. So you get a total of 4 of them, 1 for every beam. Basically, you hold down and charge your beam, and then you press the missile button, and then you fire a super missile, which costs 5 missiles, but super missiles are not only necessary, but they are extremely useful. They do a ton of damage to enemies, and they're just, well, they're very useful. Save room now. This is kind of an awkward part because I don't want to stop. I don't want to make that video like 12 minutes long. But we've got a lot ahead of us. Well, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna save now. Get my energy replenished. I'm gonna get my energy replenished. And eat some food. And then we will... Whoops. There. Let's just leave it on that. Let's just look at 28% of items, 53% of logbook scans. We're looking pretty good so far. Anyways, I think I'll just kind of take a break now. So, I'm gonna cut off here, and we'll cut back in a second. Okay, we are back. Now that I'm back here to actually play this again, let's continue moving onwards. So we want to go through this door right here. It's pretty much a straight path. I mean, well, it is a straight path. Unless you don't count it straight just because of the fact that there's a bunch of curves and stuff, but there's always only one room to go to, so it's pretty simple how you're going to progress. Once again, make sure you scan at least one of those. Or else, you're not going to get 100%. I looked through the research thing on that one Metroid website just to like see what else we have that is we only get so many chances to scan. And for the most part, other than bosses, we've already scanned almost everything that we only get limited chances to scan. Okay, we've already... No, we do have the super missiles, and I'll try those out in a second, but for now I'm just gonna use the wave beam. There's one more. As far as research injuries go, I think the only ones that disappear are the stalactites. These are new enemies also. I think the only ones that disappear from the research section are the stalactites, the door locks, and the map stations. And then creatures entries, we got almost all of them. Okay, these guys are very weak to super missiles, just one super missile and they're done, so that's a much easier method of getting rid of them. Keep in mind though, the super missiles eat up 5 of your missiles, so don't use them all willy-nilly if you're not able to. Because there are points in the game where you need a super missile. Anything made of cordite can be destroyed by super missiles. And only super missiles. As for that Bendesium, we still can't get rid of it. There's actually a Chozo artifact right here. However, we can't get to it right now because we can't blast through this icing, the ice casing right there. But Keep that in mind because we're going to be back to this exact room in order to get that Cho's artifact. Must have been something I missed to scan. Can I go down? Can I go down, please? That's odd. I don't know why it's not letting me go down. Oh, there it is. I was gonna say, like, what's the story here? I was getting confused. Alright. Well, that's fine. Let's just continue onwards. Just gonna keep using the wave beam unless I come across some more of those flying guys, because they are easily defeated by super missiles. Uh-oh. Is that... It can't be. But it is. The thing that this game is named after. A Metroid. Yep, for those of you who are not huge Metroid fans, this right here is a Metroid. What the entire series is named after. Ironic, because they don't always play a huge prominent role in the games. In fact, in the first Metroid game, you don't fight them until the very end. Anyways, if there's one thing you need to know about Metroids, it's that they're very weak to... Well, in this game, you can kill them with anything, but what they are weak to is ice. Unfortunately, we don't have any ice-based weaponry, so much for that, huh? Anyways, listen, I'm sorry I killed your specimen or whatever, but, it was trying to kill me first. Okay, here's more pirate data. I think around here is, like, something that talks about Meta Ridley. It might be this one. Yep. This one talks about what happened to Ridley, basically, after we annihilated him in the first game. Well, we didn't really do that because I didn't really do a Let's Play of that or anything, but, it's implied. Just scan the red ones. I think I already said that, but anything other than the red ones is basically useless. It's just there if you, like, are really curious, but I'm not scanning every single one of those because we'd be here forever. Just whenever you see screens, make sure you scan the red ones because that's pirate data. I've probably said this before, pirate data doesn't, ever disappear except for the one on the Space Pirate Frigate. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot, but, you know, people forget, including myself, so it's not always a bad thing, just to kind of make a little reminder. Jeez, all kinds of weird looking things in that tube. Wave Beam is pretty effective against these guys, it's pretty nice. I don't know what I'm scanning these, they're just red, they're just orange, I mean. And if you're like me and you're tanking it out with 5 energy tanks, you don't need to worry too much about taking a lot of hits. If you have like 2 energy tanks, I'd be a little bit more careful. And I believe one of these... Unless it's... Oh no, here it is. Energy tank. And I believe... Okay, I believe you need to use a super missile, but let's try a regular one first. Nope. Alright, cool. Didn't need to waste 5 missiles there. Now I believe, I don't know if it's in this one or if it's in the other lab that looks similar to this one, but there's a missile expansion. I'm very careful about these labs. It feels like there's a lot of stuff in these labs and, you know, you don't want to miss it, even though I guess we'll be back here anyways, so if I do miss something, it's no big deal. Because we need to come back here for that Cho's artifact anyways, so... If we miss something else, it's not the end of the world. You know, items never disappear, so... I mean, unless, of course, you fight the final boss, but that goes without saying. That once you go and fight the final boss, then... you can't go back for anything. But yeah, items never disappear, so you don't need to worry about those quite as much. Sorry, got distracted for a second. I don't think there's anything else. Also, one thing to point out is that you can't use super missiles with the wave beam, so if you're like trying to use super missiles and it's like, and you're like, wow, it's not working, that's weird. Make sure you have the power beam on, because it only works if you have the power beam equipped. Oh wait, what is this? Ah crap, is this like an ice beetle? Of course it is. Ice beetle. Now, I know there is almost every single enemy that has the word ice in it in this game. You only have limited chances to scan, but I believe ice beetles are the exception. But I'll put a caption here just to double check. But I believe ice beetles are the exception to that rule. They're like the one exception because like ice shriek bats, ice burrowers, ice parasites, they all leave, so make sure you scan those. And I believe they leave right around the point we're at right now, because we're about to get an important item. So, in the next episode, we're going to grab said important item, and all I'm going to say is make sure that at this point, you have scanned everything that might disappear, because I'm pretty sure they disappear right around this point, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next part. Goodbye.